guys, welcome back to another What's for Dinner video. This week I'm sharing some super yummy meals. I know you're going to love them, and it's also a collab with my friend Kayla. She is the Unmodern Millennial here on YouTube, and she's also over on Instagram, so go ahead and give her a follow. She is such a sweetheart. You guys are going to love her, and she is killer at sticking to a budget. So if you like budget-friendly meals, you're going to love her channel. I'm gonna have her link down below. And if you're coming over from Kayla's channel, I just want to say welcome. My name is Caitlin. I have two kiddos. I have an 8-month-old, and then I also have a 2-year-old, and I'm married to my husband, Kenny. I upload What's for Dinner videos every single Sunday. I do lots of cleaning, cooking, motivational type of content. I would love to have you, so consider hitting that little subscribe button. But without further ado, let's get into this week's meals. This first night, I just made some Mexican burrito bowls. These were super easy and really delicious. So I just did 3 chicken breasts in the bottom of my Instant Pot, and then I added in about half a packet of taco seasoning mix, and I did do a little bit of garlic powder, just like I add to almost every recipe. And of course, I topped it with a little bit of this thick and chunky salsa. It added a ton of flavor and a lot of moisture. And then I had about half a can of chicken broth that I added as well. And then I just pressure cooked this for about 12 minutes. I ended up having to put it in a little bit longer, but I would say start with about 12 minutes and then make sure you temp it when it's all done. And it was super moist and easy and delicious to make. After my chicken was all done, I made sure to get my rice ready to go. I'm just using jasmine rice. Ours took about 15 minutes to cook. And then I also went ahead and chopped all of our veggies. You can really use whatever veggies you would like. I did bell pepper, I did tomato, of course lettuce, and then I did a little bit of avocado. But this is all just personal preference. Whatever veggies you like, go ahead and get those ready to go. I do just want to say that with everything going on in our world right now, I know a lot of people are having a hard time just getting their normal groceries. I know we are taking a different approach. We are only grocery shopping about every 2 weeks right now. So like in this video, I had a lot of fresh veggies to use, but then this upcoming week, I'm going to be having to use a lot of frozen canned veggies just because of everything. We're trying to really limit exposure. And I know a lot of people are in the same boat. So just keep that in mind. A lot of these recipes you can tweak as needed. Don't be afraid to experiment a little bit because we're all going to be having to make adjustments to everything in these coming weeks. And then right before serving, I just pulled out those chicken breasts and got those all shredded up. And these chicken breasts, 3 of them, it turned out to be so much food. So I ended up using the leftover chicken in a recipe the next night. And then it fed us for a couple evenings after that. So in these weird times right now, think of how you can reuse leftovers, turn them into a different meal, make your meat stretch. I will be sharing tons of tips in these upcoming What's for Dinner videos. So if that is something that interests you, make sure you are subscribed. I just love revamping leftovers and making sure food does not go to waste. To assemble these burrito bowls, I just put the rice on the bottom and topped it with the chicken, and then just throw your fresh veggies right on top. I did lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, salsa, and sour cream, and these were super, super delicious and made for really good leftovers the next day too. this next night I made Mexican chicken Alfredo, and I used that leftover chicken from the previous night, and I also used the leftover bell pepper that I had chopped up. So I started off by sauteing the bell pepper and a little bit of olive oil, and then I did have a couple of Roma tomatoes that were going to go bad, so I wanted to get those cut up, and I'm going to put those in this pasta as well. Once your water is boiling, go ahead and add in your noodles and get those cooking up so then we can start working on our sauce. You can use whatever type of noodles that you like, but this is just what I'm using. And then once your peppers are nice and soft, you're going to be adding in that chicken if you have leftovers from the previous night, or you can make it fresh in your Instant Pot if that's what you want to do. But we had a ton of this chicken left over from the burrito bowls, so that is what I'm using, and it was perfect for this pasta, and it made so much food. And then I'm also throwing in those Roma tomatoes. If you have canned tomatoes, you can totally use probably like half a can if you don't have any fresh, and that would be just fine. But just get all of that heating up together. Once the chicken has started to warm up a bit, you're going to be adding in some salsa. I would say probably around half a cup is what I did. And then for seasonings, I did some garlic powder, some onion powder, some cumin, and some chili powder. I don't have measurements. You're just going to have to do this to taste and see what your family likes. But those are the seasonings that I did, and I thought it was really perfect. And then I did just a regular plain old jar of Alfredo sauce. This is just the Great Value brand, so very simple and basic. And then to get the last little bit out of the jar, I added a little bit of chicken broth, and that helped thin the sauce out as well. Drain those noodles off once they're all done. I like to cook mine to al dente, and then I just added them right into the pasta sauce, give it a quick stir, and then we're going to be throwing it into a casserole dish. Spray your baking dish with a little bit of oil, and then you're going to be putting in about half of your noodles. I did it this way because I wanted a little bit of cheese in the middle, so I did half of the noodles, did a very small little sprinkle of cheese, and then I put the rest of the noodles and topped it with more cheese, and it was so good this way. That creaminess from the cheese just really complemented the Alfredo sauce and that Mexican flavor. This recipe was super delicious, and it fed us for days, so really budget friendly. This took about 25 minutes in a 350-degree oven, and it came out super good, so nice and cheesy and delicious. I just served ours with a package of these steamable broccoli florets. You guys know I use these all the time. They're just way too easy. I just did a little bit of butter, salt, and pepper, and that was a really yummy dinner for us. The next meal that I made was just a egg bake. You guys probably know by now that I love doing breakfast for dinner. I feel like it's a really good budget-friendly option. So I just cooked up a pound of ground sausage. This was pork sausage, and then I did about 10 eggs cracked into a bowl. I always like to keep our egg bakes really simple, so I am just adding in some salt and pepper, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and then of course you're going to need milk. I would say added maybe around 3/4 of a cup of milk if I had to guess. Sorry that I don't have exact measurements on this. It's just to taste and just, you know, you got to do what your family likes, but that's what I usually do for seasonings and the amount of milk. And then you're going to be adding in that sausage that you browned up earlier. Make sure to drain off any of the excess fat just because you don't want that in your egg bake. And then I added just a little bit of cheese. I would say maybe like 1/3 of a cup. It wasn't very much at all. And then this is just some frozen spinach that I like to keep in the freezer. I like to use this for smoothies, for putting in anything that I cook. Sauces, egg bake, like you name it, I put it in there. So I'm just crumbling up some of this spinach and putting it in the egg bake. And it was just a nice way to sneak some veggies in. Spray your baking dish with a little bit of oil, and then you're just going to throw that egg bake right into there, and you're going to cover this up with some tin foil and put it in a 350-degree oven. To be honest, I don't remember how long it took. I think I did it for about 30 to 40 minutes, and then once it was on its like last 10 minutes or so, I added in some cheese to the top, just some shredded cheese, let it bake for another 10 minutes until it was all melted. And this egg bake was super, super delicious. I just served it with a little bit of fresh fruit, some fresh veggies chopped up, and we really enjoyed this and had the leftovers for breakfast for the next couple of days, which was really, really nice. Easton has been on a pepper kick lately, so I decided to do the peppers with this, and then of course the oranges for some vitamin C. I think we can all use a little bit of extra vitamin C right now to boost our immune system. I've been trying to make sure to use up all of our fresh fruits and veggies before they go bad, and trying to save more of like the pantry stuff for later on when we need it and we can't get to the grocery store. This next meal is like a cheesy chicken veggie soup. I completely made it up, but it was really good and husband approved, so I know he really liked it. Go ahead and spray your crock pot and then put in 1 chicken breast. I had just 1 large chicken breast, but if you like more chicken, go ahead and use 2 of them. That's totally fine. And then I'm just chopping up a bunch of veggies that I had on hand and wanted to get used up. I did 3 stalks of celery, a couple of carrots, I did some potatoes. You can really add whatever veggies that you like, but that is what I am using on this particular day. And I forgot to show it, but I did also cut up 1 onion. For my potatoes, I had a couple different types that I needed to use up. I had some yellow potatoes that were going to go bad first, so I wanted to use those, and then I had a couple of russets. So I would say you're going to want a couple cups of potatoes. Again, it's just personal preference depending on how thick you like your soup, how many potatoes you like, but I just cut them up into about 1/2-inch pieces, and it was perfect for this soup. So now that you have all of your veggies added, like I mentioned, I did do 1 onion, and then you're going to be doing a carton of this chicken broth. I think I ended up only having about 3/4 of a carton. I just had it in my fridge, so you can add that. And then I did some garlic powder, some onion powder. I did a little bit of parsley and then some Italian seasoning along with a little bit of salt and pepper. Go ahead again and add whatever seasonings that your family likes. I did add in about 1 cup of water since I didn't have the full carton of chicken broth, and then I did half a package of cream cheese that I had left over. Since this is a creamy vegetable soup, you want something to make it creamy, and the cream cheese was perfect for that. And then I just cooked this on high for about 5 hours until the chicken was shreddable. I shredded that, and you want to make sure that your potatoes and your veggies are all done. Add your chicken back in, and that is about it for this soup. I forgot to film this step, but I did actually add in a couple handfuls of just cheese to make it nice and creamy and delicious and cheesy. And I added in a little bit of extra salt and pepper, and then I gave it a taste and it was perfect. And I did serve ours with a little bit more shredded cheese on top. Well, that is it for this What's for Dinner video. I hope that you enjoyed it and that it gave you guys some meal ideas and inspiration for your week. Don't forget to go check out Kayla, the Unmodern Millennial, here on YouTube. I'm gonna have her link down below. I know you're going to love her channel, so go ahead, give her some love, check her channel out, and subscribe. But that is it, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.